Welcome to our channel.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Emma.
And we're the Sisters of Tomorrowland.
Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. And make sure you give us a follow on Instagram.
Today we're going to do some question and answer, so let's get started.
Alright, so our first question is, what is a Disney movie you love that is underrated by others?
I think that's such a hard question.
I know, there are so many movies that
as a child, I really liked The Fox and the Hound. So I feel like maybe that. But also, out of the newer movies, I don't know. I need to think for a second. Go. What is yours?
I'm going to say Emperor's New Groove.
Ooh.
Because not a lot of people talk about that movie or have even watched that movie, and it's so funny, and there's just so much that happens.
Yes. And we talked about how they should make a roller coaster.
Yes.
Out of Yzma and Kronk's roller coaster,
yes,
down to the Evil Lab.
I feel like that movie doesn't get enough appreciation in Disney.
I don't know. What other movies are there?
There are a lot of movies. Are you...
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a movie that's a little bit more recent.
I mean, a lot of people don't really pay attention to, like, Big Hero 6. But
yes,
that is a great movie.
It's a really good movie. Makes me cry, though.
Yeah. But that movie, the layout of it, and, like...
Yes.
It's just amazing.
It's really good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Maybe I'll come up with something. Alright. Who do you think is the scariest Disney villain? Definitely Scar.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I
didn't like him when I was little. I don't like him now. I'm over it.
I think... I don't really know. I mean... Ursula kind of steals souls. So... She's kind of up there.
So maybe her.
I'm gonna go with Ursula.
Yes.
Alright, next question. Which hotel or resort is your favorite that you've stayed at?
I guess it's really hard because they're all so different. So most recently we just stayed at Pop Century, and we got to stay in one of the refurbished rooms, and it was absolutely wonderful, and we were super lucky. We were on, what building were we in?
I think we were in the
80s?
No. We were in the 50s.
We were in the 50s.
But we were really close to the
main building where you could catch a bus or you could
get food.
Eat, and you were right next to the Hippy Dippy pool, which is the biggest pool of Pop Century. And so we were super lucky that we were right there. And then right behind our complex was the bowling pin pool,
which I went to. And
like that was super nice, just our layout of where we're at. But I also really liked, a couple of years ago we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, and that was amazing. I would stay there again, no questions asked, ready to go. We had access through a boat to downtown Disney or Port Orleans French Quarter, and then you could eat at both food courts. You can take your refillable mugs to both food courts, which was super nice because it wasn't just limited to that. We stayed in the back, so we were at Magnolia Bend.
I don't honestly remember which place we were at, but we were
Magnolia
in the far
something.
back.
So we were in like literally like a, I don't know, like
a long way.
A 180.
We had to drive
from the front.
Like we had to drive from the.
We were on the total opposite
to
side.
The main house.
So it wasn't easy to walk through that one as much. Like we had to drive as opposed to that Pop Century was super easy and accessible for us just because of where our room was. If we were in a total different building, I don't think it would have been that easy. But we really, really liked the setting at Port Orleans also. Like,
we
it was
didn't
really, really nice.
Explore that much, but from what we did go around and see at the resort, it was pretty great.
Yeah.
I would say.
And it was very, like, calming.
Yeah. Like, everything was very, like, they had fountains and, like...
Yes.
It was very nice. I would say that my favorite that we've stayed at is Pop Century. And
really?
Yes, really. Because I am a huge 80s fan. I am obsessed with the 80s. And going around and seeing all of the different centuries was absolutely amazing. I went and explored a little, and it was just amazing.
The other thing about Pop Century is that each one of their buildings is not only themed, but the staircases that take you up to your room, each building has a different theme around their staircase. So our building, the staircase was bowling pins.
Yes, because we were in the 50s.
There were staircases that were a Tetris cube or a yo-yo. And the other thing about Port Orleans was that you had access to the Skyliner because...
Not Port Orleans.
I'm sorry,
Pop Century.
Not Port Orleans, Pop Century. Woo! So, the Skyliner is set between Art of Animation and Pop Century. So...
It was really accessible and really, like, nice.
Yes, and
it was a beautiful walk to get there,
It was amazing. And it was super easy to do that. And then it was also super easy to go explore over at Art of Animation.
Yeah.
Because that's also one of the higher end resorts. Even though it's still considered a moderate.
I don't know what it's called.
I think. Don't quote me on that. So it was like really, really easy to go over there, and you can go hang out over there a little bit. Now you can't really access their pool because they do have the Magic Band scanners.
Yeah, you have to get your Magic Band into each pool.
But I mean, that was also really nice.
We did go walk through a few of the different
parts of their resort because Art of Animation has some amazing parts of their resort. Each part is themed after a different Disney movie. So there's Cars, The Little Mermaid, Lion King, and Finding Nemo. Yeah. And they have giant figurines that go with all of it. It's so amazing. I would really love to stay there one day. Yeah. There you go. I want to stay at Art of Animation.
Are you ready for the next question?
I think so.
All right. Moving on.
What is your favorite country in Epcot?
I'll answer first.
America. No.
America is weak. No offense to Disney or anyone that likes the American Pavilion, but compared to the rest of them, I don't know if it's just because we live here.
I know we're used to that kind of thing, but the rest of them are really decked out.
Yeah. My favorite has to be Morocco.
Not Japan anymore?
I'm just saying, or Japan. All right, so I am obsessed with like Japanese like origami and art and that kind of stuff, and like the fans and the kimonos. I love that stuff so much. But this past trip, I really wanted to go to Morocco, so we spent a lot more time in Morocco, and it was amazing. We have never really like explored Morocco at all, and it just goes so far, so much further back than I thought.
Yeah.
And like it was just amazing just walking through it. Like we didn't eat there or anything, but we did shop there, and I was very happy with what I bought.
We're still kind of picky eaters.
Yeah, very. So just walking through there was amazing. Like I loved that experience and just like seeing.
Their shops are really, really cool.
It's like a bazaar type thing.
Like really intricate fabrics and lighting and everything else.
Scents.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool to be able to walk through there. I think that I would say, and it's so hard, I think that mine is either Norway or China. I love the terracotta soldiers, and I loved learning about them in school, and then from there I can't even tell you how many projects I've done on them. But from the terracotta soldiers, they used to have these mini replicas of them in the China pavilion. So that was really cool for me after learning about them for so many years and being so interested in them.
To go see them.
And I got to go see these little these little mini replicas. They were like, I don't know, maybe like 2 feet.
2 feet.
Like, and I mean, I know that the life-size ones are anywhere from like 5 to 6.5 feet ish. But that was like super cool. And then I also really like the Norway pavilion, not specifically because of Frozen, which I do love, but because of there's like this front building, I guess, that's in the front of there, and if you walk through it, it tells you about the Norse gods, which is really cool.
It's like a history building type thing, and
it's
it really
also
cool.
has like some stills from like from the Imagineers of creating Frozen, so it has some little like extra like tidbits of like drawings or things like that in there. And then their store in there is really awesome. They have this awesome like ogre giant thing. I really don't know what he is, but he's really cool looking, and he reminds me of a time when there was no Frozen Ever After ride. It was the Maelstrom ride, and I loved the Maelstrom ride. I was really sad when they got rid of it, especially because I'm not the biggest fan of Frozen Ever After ride. It's just not up to par like I thought it would be, but that's a whole nother issue. Next question. What you got?
If you could go to any Disney, which would you go to?
Tokyo Disney. Right? No.
Yes, Tokyo.
Yes, Tokyo. Sorry.
So Tokyo Disney has at their It's a Small World, they have pieces
of the Disney movies inside of the countries.
Yeah.
So if you've ever ridden through It's a Small World, and we primarily obviously ride it in Florida when we go to Walt Disney World. I've only been to California Adventure or Disneyland, whichever one you want to call it, one time when I was super little, so I don't really remember it. She's never gone.
I have only gone to Walt Disney World in Florida.
Yes. So, I mean, I would really like to go visit all of them again now that I'm older and I can actually remember the pieces. But whatever. So Tokyo, inside of It's a Small World, you are going through all these rooms, and it has little people, figurines, dolls, so whatever like you want to call them,
when you go through,
that represent different parts of the countries and different parts of the world. But the one in Tokyo specifically, only that one, has Disney movies characters in that. So if you go through the Hawaiian room, you have Moana on one part of it, and then another part of it you have, Polynesian, not Hawaiian. My fault. But you also have like Lilo and Stitch's over there. There's one part of it that you can go through, which I thought was super cool, that they have an actual like Golden Gate Bridge and then Statue of Liberty in there.
Yeah, like they have a whole America part.
The United States one doesn't have that, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
There's like Elsa when you get to Norway. And I mean
Belle in France.
A whole bunch of
cool different
characters and everything, and it's just like little Easter eggs that Disney put in there that no other park has that. So I thought that was super cool. They also have this really intricate Ariel ride for like the deep sea Ariel meet and greet and her shell ride, and it is absolutely breathtaking. It looks like a giant piece of coral that was like pulled out of the ocean, and it's just like put on land, and then they created a ride in it. And then the other thing is that the Toy Story Mania has a like life-size Woody head, and then his mouth is like the door. So it's very intricate, and it's not like other parks at all.
I mean, this is all just from us watching videos and
Yes.
pictures, but we really, really want to go there.
Yeah. There's a lot of work to get there,
Next
though,
one.
so. All right.
Maybe.
What's your favorite land in Magic Kingdom?
That's like Fantasyland, Frontierland.
I think that my favorite land, I think it kind of switched back and forth for me. So I really like Fantasyland just because I feel like when you're in Fantasyland, you really feel like that magic, like you're in Disney.
Yeah.
And it's very, very immersive. And especially since they've done the new Fantasyland add-on where you also have Belle and Beast's castle in the background. And it's like on like a big cliff. And you have this giant like walkway that you're walking past. And then you have 7 dwarves that's in the middle of everything. So it looks like this giant like mountain has grown there. And then the other thing is Tomorrowland, because I really love the like spacey feel that it has, and how, I don't know, like
futuristic.
Yeah, it was like otherworldly, futuristic it feels. I think those are my favorites.
Mine is definitely Tomorrowland. I am a huge fan of the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, so People Mover. I would ride that all day, every day. Just people watching and listening to the audio going through each little room. I love it so much. I love the feel that I get when I go to Tomorrowland. I just feel like I'm in a whole different like area, like future world type thing.
Yes. And that's the cool thing about Magic Kingdom is that it's separated so much that each land that you walk into, you don't feel like you're in the same park.
Yeah. Like, everything is completely, drastically different.
Yeah.
And everything there.
I was like, music, food.
Yeah.
Like, everything. It's really, really, really cool.
Alright, next question. Who would you want as your sidekick?
Mushu.
Okay, well, we have her answer very fast. I'm going to Pascal.
Straight up Mushu. Can I have Perry, though? I mean,
I don't really think he's more, I think he's more of a main.
I know, he is more of a main character than like a sidekick.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had that option, just throwing that out there.
I'm going with Pascal. Have you seen him with a frying pan?
You make a valid point.
Or his tongue in Flynn's ear?
I mean, Mushu likes to do the tongue thing. He's not a lizard, though.
I'm travel size for your convenience.
Love Mulan. Oh my. Oh, we a little late. Sorry.
Yeah, these were some of these are questions from when we posted on our Instagram. So we posted it on May 4th. So here is a question based around May 4th.
It's May 4th. So, do you think Star Wars has gotten better or worse since the Disney acquisition? I mean,
stop throwing stuff at me.
I think that's really hard just because
they're so different now.
They are. And I grew up watching, I guess that's
the
1, 2, and 3 with Anakin Skywalker.
With Lucasfilm.
Yes. I was like, but I grew up watching 1, 2, and 3. And then, like, my dad grew up watching 4, 5, and 6. So, I mean, I really feel like there's just...
They're all so different.
Yes. And I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't seen the newest one. Sorry, not sorry.
I've only watched the newer ones all the way through. I've seen parts of the older ones, but I never really got into it. I do really like... It's really hard to compare.
And for me, the second episode is my absolute favorite. I love Padme so much.
I think it's really hard to compare them because they're so drastically, like, they've changed so much.
Yes.
And like they've evolved, I guess.
But I still think that...
And they're different characters, so...
I mean, my favorite still, hands down, is going to be number 2. So I think I'm going to say that I like the older movies better.
I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, like, she's not really like the biggest Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. Sorry, guys. I mean, I respect it. It's fine. But I'm not into it. Like, I'll sit down, I'll watch a movie, but not my number one choice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Yep, go for it.
What is your favorite park and why?
Epcot.
I'm also gonna say Epcot.
I just think Epcot's so cool because it has totally different sides to it. So you have Future World that has my absolute favorite ride, Test Track. I was like, where were you going with that?
No, I don't know. I was like, Future World, that's like Tomorrowland.
No. So you have Future World that has my favorite ride, which is Test Track. And then it also has Soarin' in it, which I think is like another really, really top ride. Probably my second favorite ride, maybe. I don't know. It gets a little sketchy.
That's not in the same. It's not in Future World.
But yes, it is. That's all. It's all one, and you have Future World, and then you have World Showcase. You only have the 2.
Okay. Anyways.
And then you have World Showcase that has the World Showcase Lagoon in the middle of it, which I think is really cool. Now, I'm also really sad that they took away the World Showcase fountain.
Yes.
Because it had, I thought that was really cool. It had water from each of the 13 countries.
I think so.
Don't quote me.
Should be.
Countries,
somewhere around there.
Ish. And that was the water that was like running this fountain, is the water from these 13 countries, which I thought was a really cool like bonus thing that Disney does.
That was also
like
our
their
dad's
kind of
favorite
like
thing at that part.
Easter eggs. And the water fountain shows were like really, really cool. But they got rid of it. Sorry. There's been a few rumors that maybe they're gonna do something else with it.
We're not here to spread rumors,
no.
but
maybe.
Just so you know, maybe small chance.
So we're really hoping that eventually when all the construction work is done at Epcot that will be done. But I just think that Epcot's feel is just so, I don't know, it's not magical like it is at
it's very
Magic Kingdom, but it's still like very immersive, and you feel like you're in each of these countries, and you really feel like you're doing these simulations and everything else that are happening in Future World. It's just it's really cool.
So Epcot is my favorite also because, well, first of all, Epcoteers here.
Bubblegum Wall.
I love the walls that are at Disney. Especially the Bubblegum Wall at
Spaceship Earth.
Thank you. And I love
which is down for refurbishment right now, and I'm not sure if we're gonna get to ride it.
Anyways,
sorry.
I love Figment.
Oh yes.
Figment has to be one of my favorite rides.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Soarin'. When I was a little kid, I absolutely hated it. But then I rode it again when I got a little older, and I was like, oh, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love everything that is in Soarin'.
I don't know. You were probably, you were maybe in like first grade? So 6. Like 6, 7?
Yeah. I was 6 in first grade. So when I was 6, I rode it, and I was screaming
and she was like,
crying.
No.
And then...
And Mom just kept telling her it was okay, and she just kept screaming,
I'm not
okay.
So, that was my first experience with Soarin'. But then when I got a little older, I was fine. And I was like, oh, this is absolutely amazing. I would ride Soarin' all day, because there are so many things that you can see. But this is not about Soarin', this is about Epcot.
Yes.
So, I love all the rides. And then I love it learning each different thing in the countries. Like, because I always learn something. Every time I go to a different country, there's something new that you learn by talking to one of the cast members or seeing something. Like,
or even that just each country has so many details.
Yeah.
You can't take it all in at once.
Yeah.
Like, you have to come back multiple times into all of the countries multiple times just to be able to see each piece of it, because they're so immersive into that country.
Yeah. There's so much just to absorb, and you can't do that in one little tiny visit, because you have to try to go to everything in the park. You can't just go to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once we're in a pass holders, then that might be a different thing, but that's not here yet. All right, ready for the next one?
Yep, hit me. What is your favorite park food? Okay, now listen here.
Churros. Or beignets. But I don't really
That's not
think
a
beignets are
park
parks.
food. That's a resort food.
Whatever. It's still food.
Um,
It's Disney food.
So they have this thing that is called the mac and cheese hot dog.
Ooh, at Casey's Corner and
Okay, so it used to be only offered at Restaurantosaurus in Animal Kingdom. And that was the only place you could get it. And we didn't always spend too much time in Animal Kingdom just because you can usually do Animal Kingdom in like a day. But it'll also kind of depend on like how hot it is. And if you want to do like Rafiki's Planet Watch, you can spend so much time doing that. So Animal Kingdom was something that we only kind of went to a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't do a lot of that. So that was like my go-to, like I needed that. And then they got rid of it. And I was real sad. But then I found out that Casey's Corner in Magic Kingdom had it.
right on Main Street.
Yes, and I mean, I fell in love again. Now, it's a foot-long hot dog, and it's like this giant, like
Pile of mac and cheese.
With bacon on top. And it's like really, really creamy mac and cheese. And then the bun is not like a regular hot dog bun, it's almost like a piece of bread. So it's really, really thick. So
Not that a hot dog roll isn't bread, but
no, but there's a difference. So I usually try to like cut off some of the bread and everything because it's all a lot when you try to eat it all together, and then you get a side of fries with that. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Anyways, churros
Sorry.
are churros, and who doesn't love a churro? Her. I love churros. I eat churros for dinner when I'm there sometimes. I know. So, churros, churros, churros. Always. Churros. Next question.
Definitely would rather an ice cream sandwich.
Churros. If you could be in any Disney movie, which would you be in? I'm going Lilo and Stitch. Because, you know, Stitch is a little talking alien thing that is amazing.
Yo, Frozen 2.
Ooh. No. I mean,
Frozen 2.
We love Olaf, but.
Frozen 2. Olaf's like falling over behind me.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, Olaf. Anyways.
Yeah, he needed some help. I would definitely say Frozen 2 because I really like the forest.
Yeah, the forest is really
The
cool.
Forbidden Forest I think is really cool, and if you were like, you know, like a part of that, I think that'd be awesome.
And I did really like when Hollywood Studios had that Frozen thing and you felt like you were actually like in Oaken's store.
Oh yes, wandering Oaken's Trading Post. They did like this. Like,
it was like a Christmas thing in like
Yes.
2016, 2014.
I don't know. And it was like you went down this alley and it led you into Wandering Oaken's Trading Post. We have a picture somewhere with us in the his family is in the sauna, and it's like
them are
on
there
a door,
doing the hoo-hoo.
and they're doing the hoo-hoo. So we have a picture of us.
Yeah.
With that, so that was really cool. And then in the back of that, they also did like a
they had Frozen
they had, like,
projections on the wall,
and then they had like a
and
snow
then
pit.
it was snow.
So that was really cool. You know.
You're in Florida and it's snow.
Yes.
I mean, we come from snow, but Florida and
But
snow.
there's a difference. We all know it.
Yeah. So, I'm still going Lilo and Stitch because, you know, Stitch is Stitch.
I know.
Who can argue with Stitch?
And I think I'm going Frozen 2.
Next question.
What is the one Disney attraction that you could ride all day? I think mine would be Test Track or
I could do Test Track.
Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Because in that, I mean, one, it's just nice to be able to like ride through that. Like, it's really, really cool. And it'd also be nice if you could ride it all day. You don't even have to play the game, just because you could just kind of watch all of it, because there's so much in those rooms to take in that you don't always notice everything when you're trying to like shoot the game. So I mean, you get really, really good at finding those hidden targets.
I mean, I know where all of them are, but
oh yeah,
most of them. I would say I would either do People Mover,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, it's my favorite, and I love people watching,
Or
Soarin'.
okay.
Because there's just so much to take in on Soarin'.
There is. It's amazing.
Like, last time we were there, we found out that, so it's soaring around the world now. It's not,
it's not just soaring over California.
Yeah. So we were, like, we had ridden it before, but then I was, like, looking around, and, like, I was looking down, and I was, like, when we went to, like, those little islands,
Mm-hmm.
there were turtles just swimming, and stingrays. And that was just so cool to, like, look down and, like, oh my god, like, it looks like we're
Actually hang gliding over these places.
And, like, there are just so many things to absorb on Soarin' that I'm going with Soarin' or People Mover.
Yes.
Just maybe initially.
I know.
All right, next question. Oh, I ripped the question. Anyways.
Focus.
Stop. So, what's your favorite Disney movie?
I think I would say I really, really like Tangled. I really, really like Mulan. And I really, really like
She really likes a lot.
But I think, I don't know if I could decide, honestly. It's so hard to decide.
I only think that my favorite is Lilo and Stitch. But I love Lilo and Stitch. I just love Stitch. Like, I do love Lilo. She's great. And I love the sister love in that movie. And, like, Nani's taking care of Lilo. And then she takes on Stitch. I mean, come on. Stitch is a handful. Let's all be honest. Like me. So, I feel like I relate to Stitch. So, I'm definitely going with my favorite is Lilo and Stitch. Is that my last question?
All right, this is our last question. So, what is your favorite ride in Magic Kingdom? And I think that my favorite ride is Buzz Lightyear.
There are just so many rides.
I know.
I honestly, I don't know if it's Buzz, People Mover. I mean, we all know I love People Mover by now. But then you got 7D.
Yes. The Mine Train is pretty cool.
Mine Train, I love. And, I mean, I really like roller coasters, and I like that drop. I mean, I wish that it was, like bigger.
I mean, I'll ride it, but, like...
Yeah, she's not the biggest roller coaster fan, so, I mean, like, it's more of a mini coaster. But I do really like it.
Yes.
But I think I'm gonna have to go with, where are we?
Magic Kingdom.
I think I'm going with People Mover just because I am in love with Tomorrowland Transit Authority.
Girl.
I love it. Can't say I don't. I admitted it. I love People Mover. My favorite ride. I could ride that thing all day.
The only time I did not like riding People Mover was...
when it kept stopping.
Literally the last time that we rode it was that there was, like, a leak, like, in the roof.
Oh, yeah. We rode it, like, 3 times in a row, though, but it just kept coming over us, and it was like...
Yeah, it was, like, a waterfall, like, on the ride, and you were just, like, soaked.
And it was already pouring, so, like, we were trying to get out of it, and then it kept stopping. But, like, it was funny watching the people running through the rain trying to get under a thing.
Yeah, but, like, we didn't mind the stopping part.
Yeah.
But
except
at
for
the beginning of it,
stopped.
when we went through and you just got drenched.
Yeah, but there was at one point that we stopped that there was another leak and we were just stuck under the leak. So we had our ponchos on and we were like, no, don't, please don't hurt us.
See, that's the only time I have not enjoyed riding the People Mover. Every other time, great, top notch.
Yeah. I mean... People Mover's just it, man.
Yes.
So...
this is it.
That's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you like this video. And make sure that you subscribe to us. Sisters of Tomorrowland. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that you are ready for our next video, which hopefully will be coming sometime soon. We have a surprise that you guys are going to be very happy with, hopefully.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram, Sisters of Tomorrowland, because on there you might get little hints of surprises and get a little sneak peek of what's to come.
Just make sure you are keeping up with us.
So
thanks for watching.
bye guys. Thank you.